Why does government persist with job-killing policies like triple BEE?
The triple BEE is not a failed policy. In fact, I think it must be implemented more rigorously.
Deputy Chairperson, the Deputy President, I'm a bit scared about what you just said.
With the high rate of unemployment at 33.2%, the country is past due for a review of the failed policies of your party over the past 30 years. Why does government persist with job-killing policies like triple BEE and bargaining council restrictions when the DA show that the scrapping of these in favor of targeted non-racial SDT-based empowerment would actually open up opportunities for SMMEs and to create the much-needed jobs? Must we as South Africans wait for another expensive talk shop instead of urgent reform taking place in our country? Thank you.
Over to you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Swart, the triple BEE is not a failed policy. In fact, I think it must be implemented more rigorously because you say the triple BEE policy deals with the empowerment of those who have been disadvantaged in the past. It is not correct. There were in the country where Black people are probably 90% of the population, but 70% is controlled by others. It can't be allowed. It will never be allowed. We have to come with policies to change that. Anybody who says we must scrap that, it means we must go back to apartheid. You basically say, leave the economy in the hands of whites. And that's how this country is going to work. It will never be allowed. Black people must be empowered by this policy of triple BEE. And we have seen, honorable members, that it does work. There are many companies run by Black people that are very successful. In fact, Honorable Gwede Mantashe was saying, the Minister of Minerals this morning, that most of the companies now operating in the mining industry, in the coal industry, are Black companies. And those people were empowered by these progressive policies of our government. We must continue to do so. It is not this policy that is bringing high unemployment. It's conditions of the current geopolitical situation as well. Unemployment is not a problem only of South Africa. It is there throughout the country. When the global economy is not doing well, it affects us here. So we must look at this holistically, but I will not agree with anyone who says Black people don't need to be empowered. We will never agree to that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Deputy Chairperson, the Deputy President, I'm a bit scared about what you just said. That it means that parents that are paying for their children to be in university, it's a fruitless expenditure. Anyway, DP, we should not be talking about temporary employment like EPWP, CPWP. Those are temporary jobs that could not even allow for a long-term loan or build a dream house or has no benefits. Many graduates are sitting at home. There is no rural development, no industrial expansion to create jobs. With the Western Cape, KZN, and Northern Cape being the most affected, what plans do you have to stimulate the growth in these struggling provinces? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Suisa. Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Suisa, I didn't say that what our children learn in universities and colleges is useless. The point I was making is that our children, our young people, when they choose courses at universities and colleges, sometimes they choose courses that when they graduate, those degrees or diplomas don't give them access to immediate employment because there is a mismatch with the demand of the market. What we are trying to do in the HRDC is to engage various social partners, including institutions of higher learning, to channel a lot of our young people to go for these courses where there's high demand in the market, so that we don't have unemployed graduates. There's a lot of in demand, for instance, in the mining industry for engineers of various sorts, but you find that many young people who come of the schooling system don't go in that field of study. So it's really something that we need to fix as a country, because you will see that in certain sectors of our economy, there are still a lot of adverts for jobs. But then young people have different qualifications. So yes, we mustn't say that it's a fruitless expenditure. I think it's good that people can, learn anything they want to learn. But I think let's help guide young people to say, try these fields as well. That's where the jobs are. Let's help them, because otherwise we have won on the issue of experience. For instance, with many private companies, we do say to them, don't demand too much experience from young people who are coming out of college and universities, but still they would look at the courses that these students are studying. I've discussed this matter a lot with the ministers of basic education and higher education, because they sit in the HRDC. In fact, when Minister Nzimande was going with me in KZN, we visited a lot of TVET colleges at the time, and we're encouraging young people. If you look at the interest of young people is to go to a university, not a TVET college. They don't think a TVET college is the right place to go. And yet the demand in the market want the skills from there. And really, that's really the point I was trying to make, that sometimes young people are not employable because they are not studying these courses. Many people don't want to do bricklaying or welding and so on. And these are huge demands in the market for opportunities for young people. But we'll continue to engage in the HRDC to look at how do we push young people to go into this relevant field of study. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from Honorable Priet.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Chairperson, Honourable Deputy President, I think that it is a very populist propaganda to say that if we do away with racial-based legislation, apartheid will return. And I would like to warn against making such populist statements in this House. But Chairperson, let me get to my question. Honourable Deputy President, if broad-based Black economic empowerment in that form has been around for 20 years and racial-based legislation has been around for 30 years, and yet our unemployment has only worsened, how can government continue to claim that more of the same racial policies will solve our crisis of unemployment instead of pursuing merit-based systems that attract investment and benefits all of South Africans? I thank you.
Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honorable van der Berg, triple BEE is not a racial policy. It's a transformative legislation. You see, I spent more than 40 years of my life fighting apartheid. I'm not going to allow it to come back. Not by any form. I am here where I am because I want to empower Black people. They were oppressed. And today they don't even control the economy. I don't hate white people. I like them. Many of them are my friends. But we must share this wealth. We want the Africans in particular to run businesses, to be funded. It's not racism. It's transformation. And that's really what we must do. We are not going to back off. Otherwise, we shouldn't be here. What are we doing here if we are not going to empower those who were previously disadvantaged? It's not racial legislation. In fact, we need more of this kind of legislation. I don't think we have enough of it. Many people have been waiting. Let's make sure that we use this legislation properly. We are not discriminating. We are empowering. That's what we are doing. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President, which then takes us to question number 6.
Deputy President, we are quite appalled by the debt owed by municipalities to South African Water Board, as the debt poses a risk to critical services to communities. As the EFF, we are of the firm belief that the non-payment of debt by municipalities is yet another coordinated attempt to collapse state capacity to provide water, in order to allow the private sector to intervene under the guise of preventing a crisis. Essentially, it seems as though the private sector and Treasury are orchestrating the water crisis in South Africa at the expense of the ordinary citizens. What immediate measures or accountability frameworks have you put in place to recover the debt owed to water boards across South Africa, which does not include the use of punitive measures such as cutting budget allocations to municipalities? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Cesar. Over to you, Honorable Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The Honorable Cesar, some of the interventions I meant earlier, I meant exactly to do that. We don't want to be punitive, but where we realize that municipalities are not paying water boards and yet they are collecting revenue, that's where that measure is being used to topslice their budget. But we are looking at mechanisms to look at the problem holistically, because as I said, it don't make sense for us to go to a municipality, they say in Mangaung, and topslice their budget when in fact there's a bigger problem of infrastructure, old pipes and all that. So our intervention is going to be very comprehensive to ensure that we don't be seen as punitive, but deal with the real problems that municipalities are facing. These are very serious problems that have occurred over years. And as I said, we're also looking at our model of local government. In the past, there's been an argument that we need to have many municipalities so that they are closer to communities. But sometimes if you look at it, you'll find that you don't actually need to go that route. You can club some of municipalities together, particularly the smaller ones, so that you give them capacity to be able to work together to have the capacity to intervene with resources. So yes, we will look into that to ensure that people are not punished unduly by ensuring that we are holistic in our intervention when dealing with this challenge. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. The last